I feel blessed because just 3 minutes from where we live, Don Chu was here for quite a while, and my kids were able to go see him periodically. It definitely was nice to hear expert advice and exercises prescribed specifically to my kids' own weaknesses or strengths.
Glad you bring up Don, because Don's a great mentor of mine, and he's actually on the certification commission for the International Tennis Performance Association, and he's one of the leaders, especially in plyometric training, and he did a course for our membership on plyometrics specifically for tennis. And yeah, you're very fortunate to have access to his knowledge and his expertise.
That's a nice segue into the ITPA. Is that what it is? International Tennis Performance Association. I have two questions from people who got in on the Facebook event page. One of them is from Scott Perkinson, and he says, I have bad knees, I'm bone on bone, very limited range of motion, and he's going to have replacements. So what can he do to have a better rehab or prehab to get ready for that those surgeries?
Exactly. So, you know, that's one of the best things he can do now is he's going under the knife. He's going to have the replacements done, is you take care of everything around that area the best you can. So core strength, hip strength is really, really important, so that when he comes back, those areas are as strong as possible, so that once he starts doing his loading exercises to get his strength back around the knee specifically, then the lower back, the core region, the hips are as strong as possible.
So the next question, Mark, that I have here is from Jared Fleck, and this kind of leads into the discussion of the ITPA, because his question is, where does he see the value of ITPA certification for job opportunities? Is there a specific job market for tennis coaches who have that certification?
Yeah, most definitely. I think that's one of the biggest areas that the association helps the membership with is job placement. We work with a lot of facilities that are looking for certain skill sets, and these skill sets are people that have a very good understanding of the physical training of tennis. Doesn't always mean they're going to do the fitness side of tennis. Sometimes they do. If they go through the Certified Tennis Performance Specialist program, that really trains them up to be able to do that. But a lot of tennis coaches, they just want to have a better understanding of growth and development, a better understanding of how to work with growing bodies, how to test athletes better and separate them. So it's also, from an injury prevention standpoint, a lot of clubs are concerned about the increased injury risk, and the individuals that go through the ITPA have the knowledge, skills, and the abilities to better program so that they reduce that situation with the injuries. And that's really one of the major aspects. So there's a job placement aspect of the association. There are members in 28 countries. We're partnered with a lot of the leading federations. From the Spanish Federation, we have a strong partnership with them. The Mexican Federation, we do a lot of work in Europe. So there's a lot of job opportunities that come up, not only in the U.S., but also linkages with other associations, a lot of clubs. And then for individuals that are looking to get into high performance, we place multiple people every year in that December period when the pro coaches are transitioning. They're looking for physical trainers. They're looking for tennis coaches with a physical background. So that's how the association sort of helps with the job prospects.
I'm thinking, because I have a couple of swim and tennis clubs in my mind right now where you come in and you say, I'm ITPA, and they go, what? A corporate club that has a really strong fitness component to it, and they really value that that fitness component, and they would be embarrassed if their tennis coach wasn't really savvy to the issues, and then their tennis players were getting hurt.
Yeah, most definitely. The small kind of swim and tennis clubs are one of the bigger markets, because a lot of those individuals is one person, and they run the warm-up, they do the tennis coaching, and they do a small amount of fitness at the end. And that's really one of the best benefits, is they know how to do that safely, and they know how to do that well. So you're 100% right with the bigger clubs. They're looking at it from liability purposes. They don't want their players to get injured. They want to make sure their programming is at the highest level possible, and that's a big aspect of it. But the smaller clubs, actually, that only have one employee, or sometimes even have part-time employees, are a very big part of the association, because of their need to do a little bit of everything and have enough knowledge to be able to do that. Some of the real big clubs have multiple people doing different things, and we have the different specialties. There's 3 levels of certification, plus a lot of different continuing education courses based on what the individuals are looking to get their expertise in.
Can you briefly touch on those levels? So just a snippet of each one.
Yeah, definitely. The Level 1 program is called the Tennis Performance Trainer, and that's really aimed at the tennis coach. That's aimed at someone that has good tennis knowledge but doesn't have the sports science background, doesn't have a degree in sports science, isn't sort of trained in that area. So that goes through 14 modules, from strength training to movement training to injuries to growth and development to young athletes to working with seniors. Specific areas that they need to understand, and it's specifically aimed at tennis coaches. The Level 2 is the Certified Tennis Performance Specialist, and that's sort of the gold standard in the industry, and a lot of tennis coaches will go through that program after passing Level 1, but we also have a large percentage of our membership physical therapists, strength coaches, medical doctors, chiropractors, athletic trainers, that's their profession. But they are now working with tennis players, and they need to understand strokes and movement and how to train tennis players, and it's very different to training football athletes or basketball players. So that's the Level 2 program. And then the Level 3 is a very select group, and that's the Master Tennis Performance Specialist, and we only have about 10 people a year that go through that program, and that requires multiple years of experience. You have to be working at the highest level of the game, have to have over 1,000 hours of working with high-performance players, so it's a high-performance certification, and it's a level above everything else that's out there. It takes nearly a year to complete to do it right, so that's a very small group, and most of the people that go through that are currently, leading major federations in strength and conditioning, athletic training, national coaches for federations, things like that.
Yeah. So, so it sounds like your Level 3 would be more of a better fit for the swim and tennis market, and then the Level 2 would be for kind of like what we would call elite junior, high-profile club kind of a fit. Do you see other ways that those categories fit in the industry? Yeah,
no, the way that this is set up, and this has come from the healthcare world, the certifications are done in a very academic way from a standards perspective. So, there are specific prerequisites that are required. The assessments are done using a psychometrician, basically a stats person, to make sure that the level is accurate, and there's a significant failure rate, which all certifications should have, so to make sure that the level is appropriate, and that's something that sort of the association wanted to make sure they did the right way. We do it like a regulated certification, like if you were to take your boards to be a medical doctor. It's structured in a similar way. It's focused on information that you need for tennis, and it's very practical, but the assessments are done in a way where it's accurate and people know what they're getting. So we're trying to develop true standards in the industry.
And what's the success rate at each level?
So, the success rate, it changes from month to month, but it's, the Level 1, we have about an 80% pass rate. The level 2 is between 60 and 70% pass rate. So, and compared to all the similar type associations in the healthcare world, that's about normal, and that's always going to be where people fall. So if too many people start passing, the level becomes more difficult based on that, and that's how all the true certifications are functioned. Unfortunately, there are a lot of terms that people use and they call things certifications, but they're really not. They just, someone write a few questions down, or you come to a course for a day and you get a certificate. That's not a true certification in the truest sense, in the sort of academic way of designing certifications.